So tell me about when you got to Perris. What was the street life like out there? Did the Perris Neighborhood Crips already exist at that time?
Nah, not at that time. It was a clique forming at that time called Pimp Mob. That's the beginning of Perris Neighborhood Crip. That's the beginning stage, and then transitioned into Perris Neighborhood or Neighborhood Perris Crip down the line.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me how you got introduced to the what was it called? Pimp Town?
Pimp Mob.
Pimp Mob.
Yeah.
Who started the Pimp Mob, and tell me a little bit about Pimp Mob.
Well, rest in peace to homie Cash. I'm gonna say his name. He's rested in peace. I can't incriminate him, but other than that, I ain't gonna mention no names. But without people consent. So, but it started. He's one of the founders of it. Yeah. Then just recruiting. I wasn't a part of that at the time. I was just out there. Fresh from Compton. I wasn't a part of that. My little brother, he started doing that first. And then that's kind of, he's majority of the reason when I end up joining, you know what I mean, really because of my brother. He was out there, he was with the business and stuff, so it was like, I seen that few dudes that he ran with wasn't having his back like that, leave him hanging in the mix of battle and stuff like that at times, you know what I mean? Not everybody, but I seen like a few. And I'm like, man, that's my little brother, man. Like, I realized we stuck here. Fuck it, I'm finna go all the way in with my bro. So I end up becoming a part of this gang.
So what was it like getting drawn into the set by a little brother?
Well, it really didn't. I know.
It's usually the other way around, right?
It just was like I felt like his protector, man, and I wasn't finna leave him out there hanging like that, man. I just seen some things where I'm like, man, I feel like my brother need me. I feel like while we stuck out here, I'm not going back. You know what I mean? At the time, I didn't even have resources to do if I wanted to. We didn't have no family in that hood or nothing like that, so it was just like, man, I had to come to a conclusion. And I'm like, man, be claiming something that I know I ain't going back and forth to. I ain't gonna be there, or being looked at as the dude. Like, it's a lot of people like that. Compton, in Perris, Moreno Valley, all around the area. People like to claim Los Angeles gangs, and just it sounds good. You know what I mean? And this and that. Everybody want to be from this Compton, Wise, LA, something. You know what I mean? So. And I see they be getting niggas get clowned. I know dudes, you ain't really from there and stuff. It's just like, why? You know what I mean? Be somebody from where you gonna really be at. I wanted to make a name. I wanted my name to be a name. I wanted to be a real name from where I'm at. Where I'm gonna wake up, I can't avoid the beef. I gotta deal with it. I want to be there. I wanted to be there. That was like part of me releasing my frustration was gang banging. That's really what it did for me. It was a stress reliever. You know what I mean? So that's how I vented my anger. So I wanted to be in it. I wanted my name to mean something. I didn't want to be the guy from 50, 60 miles away claiming something. With, you know what I'm saying? I was, when we first got there, of course, yeah, I still claim Compton because that's where I come from. That's, like I said, that's first base for me. But I wanted to be, my name to be somebody from where I'm at. You know what I mean? Where I know I'm going to grow up the rest of my life, really. So that's what happened.
Okay, so we're talking about the early '90s. This is the 1990s.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, so when does it go from Pimp Mob to Neighborhood Perris?
I can't really put an exact year on that.
But you was there. You was there for the transition.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was early. It was in the early '90s, though. I will say that. Yeah.
Okay. What can you say about the transition?
To be honest with you, it kind of started in prison. A few homies was in there, and they was calling back home like, "Hey man, we gonna put the NAC on it." You know what I mean? And that was that. So that's how that came about. And from there it was that's just what it was. And then from there. You know, dudes start claiming they blocks and different blocks and stuff like that. You know, me, I'm from Redlands Avenue, you know what I mean, which is known right now today, 1500 neighborhood East Coast. So it's like two sides out there. You got just, you know, Perris Neighborhood. You got 15 Crips, the 1500 neighborhood ECs. You know what I mean? So that's what it pretty much to this day, how it's turned out to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you fast forwarded way on me.
Oh, my bad.
No, it's all
my
good.
bad. My
it's
bad.
all good. So
I mean, we could cut it and start back.
No. It's all good. I want to know about was there any disagreement or issues when you guys transitioned away from Pimp Mob? How did the other people receive it?
I don't really remember any resistance from anyone when that happened. I really don't. I'm pretty sure it probably was a couple of people. That's just how things go. You know what I'm saying? When there's transition and change, it's probably was a few people like, man, I just want to stay like this. You know what I mean? But I can't really remember. If there were, it wasn't too many. Pretty much everybody went along with the program.
Because when you put the Crip on it, you're now on a different level, right?
Right.
And some people probably joined Pimp Mob because we wasn't Blood or Crip.
Yeah, and it was people like that. Yeah, it was people like that when it transitioned to NAC. You know what I mean? Then some people, you know, they like, we got to part our ways. You know what I mean?
Now I was told that on the other side of Perris, you have they're called the Perris Lokes, but I think they had another name. And I guess for many years, both these sides of Perris did not get along. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
What'd you learn about that when you moved there?
Well, it all formed around the same time. So, and to be honest with you, it's a set of apartments on the east side. You know what I mean, that both of these cliques kind of started in, and then, you know, we battled over it. You know what I mean, we end up being on that side of town. Those dudes, they started being on the downtown side of town, and they started, you know, making their hood down there on the bottom. You know what I mean? We stayed on the northern east side at the top.
And you guys attended the same schools, I'm assuming, right? Is it one high school?
Yeah, well, Perris High, and then you had like continuation schools and stuff like that. Yeah, so yeah, basically Perris High was the school. But a lot of dudes from down there started attending school down there. But yeah, once upon a time, everybody was at Perris High School, fighting and all that. You know how it go. So,
is there any story to how the conflict started between the two sides of Perris?
Let me see, man. I think it was really just over. It was really no other gangs like that to beef with. We had the South Side, you know, the essays and stuff, but it was really, you know, some reason blacks like to. In our history of being black, we like to beef with each other. That's in our nature, I guess. But yeah, I think it just was more over. You know, my clique is the hardest. You know what I mean? The mine is harder than yours, type things like that. Because to be honest with you, like the Perris Lokes, like when they first started, when everybody from I know they aunties, grandmothers, and like quite a few of them dudes was my boys. Like, you know what I mean? I remember I had this white Cutlass, man, and them dudes, they, you know, I got a few partners, man. They be in the car with me, man, this and that, man, like chilling, like, you know what I mean? So it wasn't like a natural hatred. You know what I mean? People, we were friends with some of us were friends with each other. You know what I mean? And yeah, it just was more of a dang, homie, you gotta choose a side because niggas is just like making it like that. You know what I mean? So people like, man, it might not be personal with you, but I gotta ride with my side. You know what I mean? There's a lot of dudes to this day who are still never had a hatred for each other, who are like, you know what I mean? Like, man, that's no, you know, never had to get at each other like that. That was cool from back then. So, you know, for a long time, I used to, you know, I'd be like, man, this is kind of stupid, man. Like, we ain't really, like, you know what I mean? Like, what we doing this for? But at the same time, you got to understand the art of gangbanging. You got to beef with somebody. There's nothing nice about gangbanging. Yeah. So, that's all we had in the area was this set and that set. So, of course, hey, we go clash because niggas got to beef for somebody. So that's how that went.